Hey guys, I'm Kate. Welcome back to my channel, and this week I'm doing a little bit of a different kind of writing vlog. This topic was actually picked by my patrons over at Patreon, and this is one of the closest patron votes for a writing experiment that I've had in a very long time. Really, that just means I'm gonna do both. So the things you need to know before I start this experiment, because I'm calling it designated days, right, is that I often sort of work on one project in the morning, work on another sort of project in the afternoon, and then maybe another project in the evening, and then extra projects on the weekend that I didn't finish during the week. Just gonna call myself out right there. So what happens is that I'm basically juggling a lot of different things, whether that is Meridian Maps number 4, soon to be number 5, my personal essays, my freelance stuff, my short stories, or AuthorTube, or any other sort of thing. It's kind of all a jumble, and what I choose to work on that day often depends, you know, somewhat on deadlines, but also just kind of what I'm feeling, and I don't know that this is the most productive way to do it. Because what happens is that, if I got, 1,500 words in Meridian Maps 4, I might feel a little bit tapped out from it, and then I would switch to another project, which 1,500 words, nothing to sneeze at. But I do wonder if I forced my way through it, if I worked past that first initial, tougher hurdle, would I get even more work done because I'm staying in the zone on that project? Does that make sense? So that is where this designated days concept came in. So starting tomorrow on Tuesday, the first day is actually going to be my freelance work. So the only thing I'm gonna work on all day is freelance stuff. We do have to add a little asterisk in because I will be recording throughout this experiment, but no editing of vlogs, no touching any of my fiction work. We are freaking in the zone, okay? In the zone on freelance. Then Wednesday, I'm gonna work on AuthorTube stuff, and this was chosen kind of working around my schedule best that I could because we have our live AuthorTube chat with my, forever co-host Jessica Williamson, but also we're going to have Becca C. Smith on to talk about co-writing do's and don'ts, as well as the 5th season, which I have not put up yet. And the big plan for that day is I'm going to see how bulk filming goes. I'm usually not a fan of bulk filming. I kind of find it exhausting, and there's only so much video you can edit, but I do have a lot that I'm holding off for Wednesday. Then on Thursday, I'm going to work entirely on Meridian Maps number 4. And the question for me comes in here is that if I'm working on entirely Meridian Maps number 4 that day, can I get enough done to finish the drafting of it and potentially be ready to move on Meridian Maps number 5 by the time September starts? Because that's the goal, but imagine if I got that done halfway through the month. That would leave me with a lot of extra time to go back over some of my outlines and add some stuff in, which is how I would spend the time, and might be how I spend the time on Thursday, but just excited at the possibility. Finally, on Friday, we're gonna work on some of my personal essays. I have a few that are in the stages where honestly, I just need to go over a final pass and then send them to other people to review. So it's gonna be all about getting that done. If I'm being honest, personal essays tend to fall to the very bottom of my list of to-dos. They're shuffled to the very end of the night, or they're just more easy to dismiss oftentimes, even though technically Medium has paid me for some of my personal essays. Y'all, I've made a whole $3 off Medium. I know it sounded like a joke, but I'm actually pretty excited. So it'll be interesting to see if I have an entire dedicated day to the personal essays, either how many I can get done or what. I just don't know. I just don't know. And then finally, Saturday, I'll be working on my short stories. Now, typically, I have not wanted to work weekends, but because this past weekend was the Worldwide Write-a-thon and I did my 10K day then, I had kind of a funky Monday. That almost served as my weekend, which is still only one day, but this is how I've kind of shuffled my schedule along. So anyways, entirely on short stories. I have 3 that are in different stages. One is in the more line edity stage where I'm being very particular about word choice and flow, and I'm trying to get that exact. And then the other 2 are more in a rewrite stage. So that's gonna be interesting to see, as they're only 4,000 to 5,000 words each. I'm just curious how quickly I can get through those when that is all I'm focusing on that day. I'm not allowed to even do anything else. And will this be ultimately more productive? I'm not planning on working any more hours than I normally work. I'm just gonna let myself do my own thing. But could this be better? Could this be better than the shuffle? That is what we shall see. And I guess all that's left is to find out. tomorrow. I will see you all then. Good morning. It is Tuesday at 9. I had a bit of an accidentally late night last night, so it's a slow start. I'm waiting for this to kick in. To start freelance days though, we must first start with email. That's not email pulled up, it is my Google Drive, but let's start with email. What's the best way I can do this? Yeah. Yeah. Yay. I did it. I did it, even with like a little bit of coffee left. Can you see that? You can't see that. Yay! Having said that though, it is now 9:35, so it took me like a whole 30 minutes. But I can cross through some things that I needed to get done. 1, 2. And I even wrote that it's designated day. Freelance, woohoo. So I need to go over what my game changer goals are, AKA which assignments I'm going to work on basically. I think there's actually one that I need to do more research in, so that might be what today is more about. But we're going. It's going. The morning is going. Jeez. So I had someone once ask me when I'm going through stuff how I determine what colors there are. So you can see there's a red, blue, and green on here. This is my own personal method, and sometimes it will change depending on my mood, but oftentimes the red is stuff that needs to stay in there, but I just need to rework the phrasing. So it's just not flowing right, basically. Blue is for stuff that I absolutely do like it's solid. The reason this one doesn't have much blue right now is because the rest of the stuff that's not blue I've basically already gone through and it would have been blue. So it's just as I change it and as I evolve with each draft, it sort of fixes itself. So what was once blue will now be back to the white or no color. And then as I fix the red bits, I'll turn them blue and then turn them white and whatever. And then green is stuff that I actually need to insert that I have not written yet. Whether that is like something as simple as a blank, either because I haven't researched the location enough, or it's like a statistic, or it's just some kind of phrase that I want to include there. But other times it's like an entire paragraph, or if as I'm reading stuff over, it feels like I'm missing something, I'll put that in green because it needs to be an insertion rather than the red, which is more like a rephrasing. Does that make sense? Like something needs to be added, not just fixed. Yeah. This goes back to, I don't know if it's necessarily the best system, but it is the system that works best for me. I like kind of a visual representation of what I need to fix, and it's a nice reminder. So then what I'll do is that rather than changing something and rereading the whole thing over again, I do my best to change as much red as I can that session, and then I'll reread through it, change it to blue, and then like I'm good to go. Go, puppy, go. Go, puppy, go. Yes, sir. Look at his little ear flop there. Oh, good job. Good job, buddy. Yes, sir. I'm gonna be out here with you. Yeah, what a good duke you are. It shed all over me. All right, so I am a day overdue on the 5th season. I need to go turn this in. So we're gonna do that real quick. It'll be a nice break for the day. Let's get on the road. Whee! I don't know if anyone else has felt this way, but I'm at the stage where it's like, it's honestly just nice to get out and drive somewhere. So I've started using that as my breaks for things. Like, you know what's a good reward? A little drive. Puppy, I'm home! All right, well, I just finished a video where I am not editing any of it. That is terrifying. But I have been doing all AuthorTube stuff today. I've done a fair bit of editing. I actually got this video currently to 10 minutes, and I got another video to basically done. It just needs one more round of edits and to put stuff on the screen. Yesterday I stopped filming because I think I realized that I was going to have to film today a lot and see my face while editing a lot, and I find something about that really tiring. I was gonna have a phone call with a friend in like 6 minutes. I am gonna have it. Was gonna have it. What? And then I'm also doing the AuthorTube chat later tonight, so I just know today was gonna be like a lot of talking. So I stopped. I didn't film anymore yesterday, and actually this is probably a good time to mention that I attempted to start this experiment like a week before. I even did a live stream that was like, help me kick off this experiment. And what happened is that I had picked that day to do stuff, and then I ended up needing to do some freelance and AuthorTube stuff that day along with Meridian map stuff. So it defeated the purpose of the designated days. Did it not? So I stopped, and now we're trying again. Because I've never been the best at bulk filming, I just know that this is going to be kind of exhausting, and this is usually exactly why I don't do it. So then it becomes this question, not just with AuthorTube, but like in general. At what point do we make the trade-off between productivity and sustainability? Like, I don't think I could do a day of AuthorTube exclusively every single week from now on. Like, this is just not something I can do. There's a reason why I space it out. And even if this is ultimately more productive, it becomes one of those at what cost kind of questions. So then is it productivity? Like, if it's not something that's healthy in the long term, yes. Okay, it is now 4:44, which means I'm 16 minutes away from the live stream. Jessica's taking a mental health day, so it's gonna be me and Becca. We're gonna be hosting, talking all about co-writing, do's and don'ts, 5th season, Gush Fest. I got this video uploaded, so fully edited today, uploaded. I'm going to work on the thumbnails for both of these so that they're entirely ready by the end of the day. I have crossed through several of my notes and things I had to do for my designated AuthorTube day. And I wrote down the note to myself that productivity does not necessarily equal sustainability, and how important mental health is over the efficiency, which is something that I'm going to be reminding myself, because I love doing things as efficiently as I possibly can. Right? That's why I love doing all these experiments and like finding what my ideal situation looks like, because I want to be as productive as possible, but as possible is within that like as healthy as possible sort of thing. So sometimes you just need a reminder. The little puppies are here. I think I'm gonna have to let them out to go with their dad while I'm on the chat. I do not trust them. No faith. No faith.
Pick 3 things. That's it. Pick 3 things that you don't want to change, that you desperately want to fight for, and everything else is fair game. Yeah. And it like always stuck with me. I'm all like, oh, okay. Because then it makes everybody feel satisfied, like they were heard.
Oh. So, the boyfriend actually asked me how this designated days experiment is going. Not well, y'all. Not well. So last night, I made the mistake of, I went on a walk, as I like to do. I listened to my audiobook for a bit, and then I just thought of my story of Meridian Maps 4, and then how I'm going to transition some stuff into Meridian Maps 5. I walked, well, if I can find the stats, I walked for over an hour. I was just thinking, and then I got back in and I needed to do something within Photoshop for someone. So I did that. And then I realized I didn't have any of my thumbnails for the videos, and there was one that's gonna go up on Friday that could not touch according to my designated days, so I had to get that up. And then by that time all that happened, because it was pretty late, I missed my window of like sleepiness, so I stayed up till about 2 listening to my audiobook and puzzling and thinking over my story again. And I didn't write anything in Meridian Maps, I just thought through some problems, and I did admittedly take a few notes and like text myself what I was thinking. Oh, so then today I'm exhausted. I've done a little bit of the typing up of the notes, so like I kind of already cheated again, but I haven't wanted to write it today. Like I went through all the thinking yesterday and my motivation's just like not quite there for it, either because I'm tired or what. I'm doing laundry, doing all the stuff, did the dishes, swept. Like I'm doing all of the things so that I don't have to work because I don't want to. So the work that I am doing, this freaking designated days thing. I'm putting some of my characters into Campfire and I'm moving some of my old notes over. Yeah. And thinking through a few more things in my Scrivener file. I need to come up with the backstory of a few characters as we're gonna be writing it out. I'm going to be writing it out for a particular scene where they're having a celebration on the ship and they're all kind of getting to know these people that have come together quite suddenly on the ship. Anyways, but I really like don't want to do it today. I'm forcing myself to do it. Kind of. Again, laundry. I don't want to do it though. And then my friend texted me that Lucifer is back on tomorrow, so like just spiraled that subreddit for a bit. This is just affirming that there's a reason I like to hop around onto things and that my natural method of doing a little bit in everything each day, or at least in like 2 or 3 of my projects or work stuff, is fine. It's fine. Maybe a nap? Starbucks is actually having its happy hour, so I'm gonna do that later. And I'm supposed to talk to a friend. I just want to sleep. I'm over here like, woe is me. It's so hard. Shut up, self, shut up. But you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep listening to my audiobook and fold the clothes and put them away and yep. Because
just replace those locks with new ones.
That's where we're at.
On his face, their eyes and arms.
Oh. So while I'm in line for Starbucks, you know what's interesting though is that as I'm going through the other books, I'm realizing that even before I had read Save the Cat, I actually had already sort of included a new B character story each time. So like in this 4th book, Annalisa has now stepped into more of a leadership role. She has her own ship and there's like some funkiness kind of going on there with either being a privateer or a pirate. And the line flirting with that. Loyalty is a big conversation point for each of the B story characters and just adding new elements to it, except for this time where the B story character is actually a character who's been on the ship the whole time. It's interesting to see that I had figured out that there needed to be some sort of B story character before having read Save the Cat, or knew that there needed to be something like that. But now having it in words, it's just interesting. So this kind of goes back to some amount of story structure is innate. Yeah, so anyways, I'm trying to include more details about him this go around, and I think I'm gonna go back and do all the B story characters and add them to my Campfire. So this is not the work I wanted to get done today, but it is nice to just continue to flesh out my world and flesh out my characters, and that's not work that's lost. It's important work. It's just not words work. This line's long because it's happy hour. I always feel so bad for all the baristas that have to work this, but I'm also like, apparently I don't feel bad enough. I should feel worse about it. Okay. The line starts there and goes. Yeah, you'll calm now? Well, oh, Buffy's a sad little puppy without her sister. I took her down to the park because she was experiencing a little puppy anxiety, I think. Go, Buffy, go! Aww. Because Zelda's not here, I took Zelda to the vet, so. It's time to belatedly start my short stories. Ooh, so yesterday what I ended up doing was, besides transcribing notes, do I still have it up? I was doing some of my mapping and character creation. Look at all those different colors. So this is what I've been debating for a while, and I know that today I'm not supposed to be thinking about this story, but like this designated days does not work with the way my brain works. That is the lesson I've learned here. This is the worst experiment for the actual will I apply it myself ever again, but I've learned some things, so that's good. So anyways, with this, I've decided I need to do for the 4th book. And I think I'm going to do the books individually, and then I'm going to do an overall series sort of relationship mapping, because there are some characters that die in different books that obviously aren't really relevant anymore, but I want to keep their relationship with Annalisa intact, but also need to show that like by the time book 5 hits, let's say, they're not around. So that's what I'm going to play with. And now it is officially time to open up the shorts. Buffy writes now. Good job, Buff. Hey. I'm already up 382 words, so if I have to guess, I think compared to the other days, this might be my most productive one without double checking that against the stats I've kept, since usually I only aim for like 500 words each day in this. You waiting for me? She's so sad, all alone. You gonna help me with the puzzle? Not too much. There we go. Alright, time to let this first coat sit. She's just waiting for someone to come so she can bark at them. No. Buffy, you ready to come inside? Good job, sweetheart. I am waiting. And while I am cooling down from my ring fit, can you see Buffy? Ring fit and doing the second coat on the puzzle, I figured I would see just how far I could get. Are you gonna join me? Oh, she was also looking for Zelda earlier. She did some running around. What a good Buffy. Huh? A good Buffy. So let's see if I can get another 1,000 or so. Honestly, so this is what it is. If I get 1,500 extra, so 2,500 total in this project today, I will have exceeded what I usually get in this project for the week. So what do you think, Buff? She thinks that sounds good. $15.23. Oh, they're so cute now that Zelda's on. Oh. No. It's personal essay day, y'all. I'm pretty sure I switched yesterday and today from what I initially said, but it's fine.
Oh, good job, such a good Zelda.
A little bit of a chunkster. We were told she needed to lose like 4 pounds, but I know.
Yeah.
I thought being out here would be less of a distraction from the puppies who kept wanting love, but I was wrong. All right, so the experiment is done now. Will say that I'm a little bit thankful for it. However, the 5 days compared to my normal amount of work in 5 days was arguably a little bit more productive in terms of output. Let's see. My freelance ended up being about the same as was AuthorTube. Short stories were really the thing that's shown here because though I aim for 500 words a day, when I actually went back and looked at the stats that I've kept, and this is why I'm really excited for Meridian, like keeping stats regularly, but my best comparison that I could find is that even though I'm aiming for 5 days a week, 500 words, what actually happened is that I'd get 500 about 3.5 days of the week on average. So getting 2,500 words in one day is better. Yes, that's how the math works. Unsurprising, my personal essays also did better. I got 2 of those sent out to be beta read. That one's not a surprise. What was a surprise was that Meridian Maps, that was really the downer of this experiment. I got no words, no draft words during that day. I did get a lot of like internal brainstorming work done, not just that day, throughout the week as I was doing my like series outline and relationship mapping and stuff. So it ended up being not the loss that I felt during Meridian Maps Day. Now, all of that to say is that while my designated days ended up being a touch more productive, I'm gonna go back to it's just not a sustainable productive. I just don't like focusing on one project the entire day. And it's interesting because, you know, even though I'm saying one project throughout the day, the personal essays, the freelance, and the AuthorTube are debatably smaller projects within one category. So it's not even one project in a day. I think I just don't like staying in that headspace the entire day. I really enjoy having my mornings for Meridian Maps or my mornings for freelance and then having my afternoons for my personal essays. The nights for the personal essays and having my afternoons to like edit some videos or rewrite my short stories or whatever, you know? And this is one where it's like all the advice in the world, all the good advice can still not be the perfect advice for you. So I think this is a similar thing where even though, again, debatably a little bit more productive, if it's not sustainable, if I just personally don't like the method, then does the productivity matter? Like if I'm not enjoying myself? And I guess that's the thing, is that ultimately I'm comparing against myself who loves everything. Like even in the hard parts, I really like the process of doing everything. So then to say like you can't do that today, I don't know, maybe I just felt like a child trying to rebel against the rules that I had set. I would be so curious, and please do comment down below if you tend to have designated days and if that works for you. I'd love to hear it because again, I think bulk filming is the best example we see on AuthorTube where people recommend that and they'll have like a Tuesday afternoon where they film all of their videos and then they edit on Fridays or whatever else, you know? Anyways, comment down below. Let me know if you think the designated days thing would work for you. Let me know if you see that I went wrong somehow in this experiment because I am wondering if there's like a way to do it. When I was talking with my friend, I didn't show this, but on the Meridian Maps Day, I was having a phone call with my friend and we talked a little bit about it and he made the point that all of us writers know where it's like you have to have discipline to do the thing. You can't just rely on motivation to write or whatever, but you also don't necessarily want to restrict yourself from the writing when you're feeling that urge. So I think that's really where the Meridian Maps Day and the night before were kind of. Anyways, despite this not being my favorite experiment in the terms of doing it, it has been one of the most reflective in a long time. And I have just been mulling over this productivity versus sustainability thing. And if you can have, you know, ultimate productivity within a setup that's not sustainable. So it's really caused me to think, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons for voting on this. And thank you especially to some of my new patrons this month. Annie Earnshaw, Christina Burnham, Hayes Jumper, Suzanne Butler, Katarina, Ash Rivera, Mercer Toogood, and Lauren Reed. And I will see you all very soon with the new video. Bye. Where was I going with that? I'm now a little bit afraid that that entire other video was out of focus. No. No, why? I think I'm just tired as I just dropped the camera and just like